Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. One of my favorite applications is actually shutting down, so I wanted to take this opportunity not to only just talk about the application, but to talk a little generally about some thoughts I have around picking note-taking apps, moving between note-taking apps, and what to sort of keep in mind, especially my audience and the type of videos I make where I review really early stage applications. And we've had this with many applications. One of my favorite applications that I use was actually Clover Notes, which got acquired by Figma, and I think that ended up being FigJam as we see it now. I'm not going to use FigJam for note taking, but it just reminds me that or reminds us that applications will come and go. But let's go into Spaceduck and start there. So I actually had to film. I filmed a bunch of end of year videos, and a lot of them were about Spaceduck because I am a big fan of this application, and I actually was a big believer of this application because I think the idea was really good. So I've actually had to film, I think it's like 4 or 5 videos over again, and I've had to change up some of my blog posts, and I'm not even done. But Spaceduck is winding down, and like it says here, after 2 incredible years of building tools to reshape how people research, think, and manage knowledge, we have an important update. Spaceduck will officially wind down operations on December 1st. Today is November 6th. That is when I got this email. So it it is around a month from the day they have announced it. So this got sent to Spaceduck users earlier today. What this means for Spaceduck users, we've built a simple data exporter to make this transition as smooth as possible. Here's what you need to know. Export your data. You can download all of your content by clicking the banner on the homepage or using the banner in the left hand sidebar navigation. Data exports will be available until December 1st, so the day they are shutting down. We'll send a reminder email on November 24th, 2025 to make sure you don't miss the opportunity to export your data. If you need any additional help, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So they are allowing you to basically just export all of your data and bring it with you to a new application. And they also have a note of gratitude. Since our launch, we've been overwhelmed by support, feedback, and trust. Every message, suggestion, and so on. I won't read all of this, but they are really thankful. That is basically what they are saying. I sort of saw this coming because they've stopped answering messages on their Slack, and whenever an application does that, it means that it is going towards the end. And Spaceduck has actually done that for a while now. And also the last update, they used to update the application monthly or even more than that. But the last update we got was August 14th. After that, we haven't gotten any update. So I was a little hesitant, me personally, to use this as my application. I'm currently using Sublime because I need more of a bookmarking tool, but I really considered Spaceduck, but there was a couple of things. However, with that being said, I saw that they continued to publish stuff on social media, so I thought that they would continue to keep going. But you have now this export ability, so you can either read the announcement or export your data. So I can create an export, and it will go ahead and it will process things. As this processes things, now I can download it. I don't have that much stuff, but it downloads a zip file. So let's just go ahead and open this zip file right here. Assets. So it gets you your boards. It gets you your documents in Markdown. So this is actually a Markdown file. I will have to unpack this to open this up, but you basically get your Markdown files as well. Highlights come in TXT files, and images, they come in just images, basic images, and journal, these are the daily pages, that is also markdown files, and you also get your bookmarks in HTML, and you also get an info.json file. So you are able to export this. But that brings me to my next point. A lot of applications like this, like Spaceduck, like even things like Sublime, which is at a really early stage, and even like bigger applications as well. But things like Notion, Craft, Obsidian, that doesn't, like, I don't include them in here. But a lot of smaller applications, even though it can happen to bigger ones as well, but a lot of smaller ones, they might end up here where they will have to like just shut down the application because it isn't sustainable. So that is just something to keep in mind whenever you use productivity applications in general, especially newer ones. This might happen. It might just not be sustainable. Running a business is really, really difficult. And sometimes, like, your idea isn't good enough, or your marketing isn't good enough, or you've scaled too fast. There is so many things that can happen, which in the end, like, ends up with the application not being sustainable, and not the team behind it not being able to continue. I'm not sure what happened to Spaceduck. Like, I can't tell you what happened here. They were still in an early stage. They were in version 0.3.3, so there was still a lot of bugs, a lot of things that needed to be fixed. But generally, like a lot of smaller applications, they might actually end up here. It just happens. That's just the way it is. And it also brings me to my to another point. That is especially around like applications that have been around for a while. I'm mainly thinking of two because I think of them when I think of Spaceduck. That is Milanote. So let's just open this up, and also my mind. I am really impressed with how good those applications are, and how they've like been able to stay around for such a long time. My mind has been around since 2020, even maybe even a little earlier than that, and Milanote since like 2016. It is really impressive how they've been able to build a sustainable business model in a really competitive space. It wasn't that competitive back then, but it is really competitive right now. So I just wanted to mention that as well, that these applications that have been around for a long time, they deserve a lot of praise, because it is really hard. Everyone wants to build the new amazing like visual note taker, and as I said, I really liked Spaceduck. It was one of my favorites. I was a big believer in it. I mentioned it in a lot of like end of year videos. I had it in like best end of year, or best new applications I came across this year, applications to keep an eye on going into next year. And the last point I want to make here is that, like, one thing is to like keep in mind that this can happen, and with that comes also the idea of having to think about the exporting options of an application before you start using it. That is something I've been really bad at. And also, some people like prefer to use open source applications because of this reason, since the code is available and you can fork the application, and there are often several of these open source applications, especially in the note-taking world, allow you to just self-host the application. So some people like that, but I would generally say, like, think about the exporting options. Anyways, I think that covers it. I just had to mention it because I've made so many videos on Spaceduck, and I generally do early stage applications. I think it is really important to just mention that this might happen, and I know that it might happen whenever I make a video about the application, because it has happened so many times before. But I think that covers it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I will try to get back to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching today's video.